Okay, good afternoon. It's Thursday, it's Lit Soc, and today we're doing debates, literary debates specifically. And yeah, so everyone is going to go head to head for exactly 2 minutes, and we're going to figure out who's the ultimate debater champion of the world today.
Of the world, no less, everyone.
It's like the Super Bowl, it's the World Championships in America. Anyway, we're going to start with Miss Huntley and Miss Humphreys, who will be talking about
Narnia versus Earthsea.
Earthsea.
So who's going first? You decide.
Mr. Humphreys.
I'm first, am I? Okay. Right, are we doing it so that we're in...
Are we musical chairing? Yeah.
Are we musical chairing?
Musical chairs.
Okay. And then Lily, you can just sort of sit. Yeah. This can be your seat, actually. So that's a good sort of moderated seat, isn't it? All right. So I'm speaking for Narnia. So let me know when my time starts.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Narnia is a richly imagined world with memorable characters, drawing on a varied collection of creatures from centuries of European folklore, from the Edwardian adventure stories of Lewis's youth and Grimm's fairy tales, through to Arabian Nights and classical mythology. It is littered with iconic scenes and characters, not least the lion, the witch, and indeed the wardrobe, whose influence on popular culture is so vast that we refer to the wardrobe containing our spare library books as the Narnia cupboard, shorthand for a portal to a dream world of magic, which we all agree books are. Of course. Earthsea, she's on my side so far. Earthsea has magic and dragons and grand adventure, but have Gerd, Callison, and Firelord, yes, really, that is the name, Firelord, embedded themselves in our consciousness as Aslan, Mr. Tumnus, and Pevensey children have? I would suggest not. But it's not just the characters that better resonate in Narnia. It's the epic canvas of the Narnian world and the story, so ingeniously written that it can be read both chronologically, in order they were published, or indeed in any random order, as Lewis himself stated. It's a wonderful, accessible epic that packs in so much high action, wonder and adventure in 7 slim volumes published in close succession. This is in sharp contrast with the decades-long gap Le Guin indulged herself with to bring her series to a close, with the latter trilogy in particular full of lots of self-important navel-gazing and pomposity at the expense of an actually engaging story. Much is made of how Narnia is a biblical allegory, with Aslan representing Jesus, and the last instalment, The Last Battle, essentially being the book of Revelation. Now, whatever your take on this is, or your views on Christianity in general, I will leave you with a quote. The view of life and death in Earthsea is not only non-Christian, but anti-Christian. These words are not mine, but the words of Ursula K. Le Guin herself in a 1982 interview. If you wish to take a fiercely oppositional stance to the allegorical Christianity of Narnia, like Miss Le Guin, then that, of course, is your prerogative. You just need to be sure it is compatible with your own spiritual values and beliefs. And I'm done.
Everyone give this one a round of applause.
There we go. Over to you, Miss Sunday.
Thank you.
Wow, it's prepared. It's cheating. Oh, wait, no.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
How will I follow such a damnation of my favourite place? Earthsea, one of the greatest worlds ever created in world creating. Ursula K. Le Guin, guru, doyenne of science fiction, fantasy. 4 principal wizards inhabited my childhood in the introduction to the Folio Society version. And yes, although she wasn't in my childhood, but certainly a bit later. She's dominated many homes. Without Earthsea, there would be no School of Wizards. I don't think that Hogwarts would be quite the same without Earthsea. Earthsea, an archipelago, not a vague world that somehow comes out of something in Narnia. The humans are part of Earthsea, but the other great element are the dragons. Language is incredibly important in Earthsea. There is a true language, the language of Segoy, the eldest. It opens with this epigram: only in silence the word, only in dark the light, only in dying life bright the hawk's flight on the empty sky. It may be pontificating for somebody, but it's certainly a big part of this book. Ged, the true name of the hero, and then is Tenar, because unlike Narnia, which barely developed through 5 books, and 7 books, and dissed women in a very big way, As she grew older, Ursula Le Guin used every might of her thought, development to engage her audience and re-engage her audience. Thénard and Gued age, and then there are others that come behind them. Their adopted daughter, and other appalling things happen to Elsie. It was wonderful.
Well done, Miss Edley. Well done. Not cheating by using a script like me.
Not having written it out.
Oh, okay.
So, are we going to do a blind vote? Is that the first way to do this?
Would you like to
find
do
out
blind? Yeah,
who
okay.
progresses?
Everyone close their eyes.
Close their eyes.
Miss Ellie and I obviously will
close.
abstain from voting.
Yeah.
We can keep our eyes open, can we?
I will also
Only want us to
abstain.
close our eyes? Okay, we'll close our eyes too.
Okay. Can everyone please clearly put their hand up if that I meant like in there, like not like anyway. If
Listen
they-
carefully. She'll say this only once.
Yes. Can people please carefully put their hands up if they would like to vote for Mr. Humphreys? Okay. And can put your hands down. Sorry. And and can Alan, you open your eyes. Okay. Put your hands up if you want to vote for Miss Huntley. Said clearly. Because I'm not following instructions. Okay, open your eyes. I'd like to announce that the winner of our first debate is Miss Huntley.
Hey!
Oh!
Well done. Well done, Miss Huntley.
I don't believe it. You're very generous, girls. Gosh.
I didn't vote for you.
Good.
There were interesting. Can I reveal the interesting statistics about that vote?
100% votes, Miss Huntley.
No, that all the adults voted for Mr. Humphreys and all the kids voted for Mr.
Ooh, I wonder why that is.
Oh.
Well, thank you, adults. Appreciate it.
Miss Humphries did a much better job than I did. But anyway,
All the
guys,
adults
that's
except me who did not vote.
Okay, so who's up next?
Oh,
Me and
it's
Miss Rio.
Lulu and Mrs. Rio, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
do you want me to do the
Miss
time?
Humphries moderate?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
because it's probably...
Who's going first?
Now that you're out.
Now that.
Yes.
Thank you for reminding me of that fact. I'd forgotten.
Oh yeah. Where's my iPad? Oh, I knew that was
Very cruel of
I
you.
didn't-
Wow.
Can I have my
I'm
iPad back?
fairly
Yeah, no, it's just trying to
person.
get things off our chests as in style, maybe. Right.
Is that your iPad?
Yeah.
Oh, Lulu needs her iPad.
Can I
Oh,
have
sorry.
my iPad?
In that case, let's...
Penny,
Yep,
are
yep,
you
sorry.
voting?
This is mine.
I'm just nice to see you, sorry.
Do you want to go first, Lulu, or am I going first?
I don't mind.
I tell you what,
why
I'll
don't you
just
go
go. I'll
first?
just go with what I've got written down, and it's Lulu first. So,
Great, there we go.
so it's Pride and Prejudice 2005. It's Pride and Prejudice 1995,
Okay.
and I will just get my stopwatch going.
I've got a cue.
Be ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I've got 1995.
2005, 1995. All right.
Right,
Oh, limbering up. Look at this.
so
When the
you
Rocky
are,
montage music playing. Or...
you are,
Pride and Prejudice 2005.
have we not got that?
No, we looked
Oh.
Oh,
earlier.
clear bias. Sorry.
But you. Well,
We do have it. We do have it. Should be there, but it wasn't there.
So you can hold it up.
No, we should have done the same.
So you're going to sit,
Too late now.
I'm gonna stand.
you're going to stand. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Apparently it's easier to think on your feet.
Well, we did the last debates on our feet, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Right.
And we're ruthless with 2 minutes, just to warn you. Okay? So, when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, I would like to remind everyone that I am speaking from the heart, and I am speaking based on 4 core principles: accessibility, succinctness, entertainment, and honesty. Right. So for accessibility, guys, would you rather watch a 8-hour odd TV series than a 2-hour film? I think not. Succinctness, the fact that you could possibly shorten Pride and Prejudice, is a wonderful novel that it is, into that 2-hour time slot, proves that you can tell it in that 2-hour time slot effectively. And I think that kind of proves that you don't need the whole TV series because it's not succinct enough. There's clearly lots of long pauses, lots of needless scenes that we don't need. Therefore, my version is better. Third is entertainment. Guys, there's lots of long drawing room scenes in the TV series. You guys just don't want to watch that. Be real. Would you rather watch Keira Knightley and the man's name I can't remember run through the rain towards each other? Him. I don't care about him. Run through the rain towards each other and passionately declare their love. Guys, that's entertainment. The only entertainment in the TV series is watching Colin Firth climb out of that river. May I present to you both of them being in the rain at the same time?
Guys. Okay, then fourth core principle is honesty. Guys, Pride and Prejudice 2005 is just better. Just be real. Like, I'd rather watch it. My fifth hidden principle was Keira Knightley being in Pride and Prejudice. Like, guys, it's Keira Knightley. She is like the person ever to exist. Like, I couldn't name a single more influential person on this planet than Keira Knightley. And I couldn't think Jane Austen wouldn't rather anyone play Lizzie Bennet than Keira Knightley. I think she had Keira Knightley in mind when she wrote the book. I just think Jane Austen would have rather you guys seen the entertaining, honest, succinct and accessible version of Pride and Prejudice rather than a boring, snotty, posh one.
Energy. Okay, well, I guess it's my turn.
You're gonna stand as well?
No.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, and your time starts now.
To me, the TV series is better in almost every way to the movie. It's so much longer, it can fit so much more in, there's so much more nuance, and it does everything that the film misses out, the TV series does it. There's so much humour, there's all the sass that you get in Jane Austen that you don't get in the film. There's fun, there's gossip, and it's just so much more fun. There's snide remarks at the balls, all the walking scenes. You get these little like individual. Yeah, you said this walking. And Colin Firth. And the film is drab and brooding, and it's got a dark colour scheme, and the music is really sad, and it's just all a little bit more depressing. It's not as fun. I'll also say the clothes in this version, they used real historical clothes that they hired from museums, and everything is true to life. Clothes in Jane Austen's periods were so fun and bright and colourful and yellow and pink, and in the 2005 version they're just all brown. Everyone just wears brown.
Miss Brown, why are you helping?
Which I disagree with.
That's quite you.
There's also so much chemistry between all the characters, especially Colin Firth and Jennifer. They're just the perfect pairing. I would say Matthew McFadden and Keira Knightley don't have much chemistry, sorry. That's just my point of view.
Colin Firth is all the personality of a brick.
No.
I'll give him an extra few seconds. Keep going.
It's just perfect casting, especially that scene where he first proposes to Elizabeth. He's so awkward and weird and bumbling, and it's so perfect for Darcy's character. He just gets it so wrong. He basically just insults her and her entire family, and then is surprised when she says no, which is just exactly what they do in the book. And I'll end with saying that in the movie, Collins isn't gross enough as he is in the TV show.
True.
He's nauseating in the TV show, and that's exactly how he's supposed to be. He's meant to make your skin crawl, and he's just too normal in the movie. That's my ending point.
Wow, 1 minute 58 seconds after that.
Quick,
And
succinct.
with interruptions as
And the
well.
TV series
Although,
as
no,
well,
I
they
think
work for
Tom
the-
Holland, I think, is fabulous in such wonderful potatoes.
Yeah,
I actually really like the movie, to be fair.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
Oh, don't weaken yourself.
I think everyone just here, Miss Rio said that she
They're
liked
both
the
good,
film.
but they're different.
Right.
Yeah, and one of them's better.
Well, it depends.
Okay, let's let the audience decide, shall we?
Okay.
So I'll do the count this time.
Do I have
So
to close my
your
eyes as well?
Obviously, Miss Rio and Lulu, you abstain. So, hands up if you would like to vote for Lulu. Hands right up. Okay, thank you. And hands up if you'd like to vote for Mrs. Rio. Okay. You can open your eyes
I
now.
have a feeling that's more.
Well, it was very close. It was close, but just about winning was Lulu. Well done, Lulu. Very close. Okay, so we have our first semi-final side. And Miss Huntley will be speaking for Shakespeare's tragedies, and Lulu will be speaking for Shakespeare's comedies. All right. So
You're going to
let's see how
stand
that one
again.
goes.
Maybe that's what won.
Okay.
Standing work.
Right. Match 3. I mean, Lulu, would you like to take back control now? As
Yeah.
chairperson?
Yeah.
Yes, I think
Shall I
you should.
move?
I think you
Thank you
should.
both. That was fabulous.
And
I know, I really want
Well, if you like, you can be the
The
referee.
other thing about the
for,
TV series is it has got the
semi-final.
most fabulous original music from Carl Davis, who then used tunes, notably Figaro, which just lifts my heart.
There was
all the
too much
time.
to say. I had to be
Yeah, no,
succinct.
yeah, absolutely. Right, who's up next then?
We have Marianne and Emily.
Oh, never mind. I lied. It is us.
Yes.
Who's going first?
Lulu on side as the referee.
I'm ready, but you've got flashcards.
No.
So,
I don't think that counts as flashcard.
Can someone pass me
It's
my
more
tea?
than I have.
so make sure you tell us first of all what
Yes.
your
This is a
Yeah,
clear
so we
way,
need
isn't it?
to clarify what this fixture is.
yeah, because it was quite hard to work
They
out.
have decided, but it is.
Yes, it's Song of Achilles versus Solitaire in like LGBTYA novels.
Okay, right.
Big
So,
fan of something.
okay, 2 minutes on the clock, starting now.
The Song of Achilles is a YA novel inspired by the Homer's Iliad. It is told from the perspective of Patroclus, and it follows him and Achilles, another Greek boy, from their initial meeting to their part in the Trojan War. This book is heartbreaking. I cried for hours and hours after reading this book, and I almost never cry while reading. The language used in this book is so beautiful. The way mundane actions are described is basically poetic, and although the book definitely has its flaws, it is 100% worth the title of one of the best LGBTQ YA novels. The book describes a new perspective on the Iliad. It fleshes out the characters, it gives them humanity, and it explores their emotions and relationships in ways that you just can't see in the actual Iliad. And although there is kind of lack of initial development in the main relationship between Patroclus and Achilles, I believe it plays off the kind of great idea of soulmates and how people are destined for each other. And
Here.
and although all the things I've mentioned make The Song of Achilles an insanely incredible book, what really killed me was the consistent use of foreshadowing during the book. Like, when I read the book, I already knew the story of the Iliad and the journey and the way the story ends heartbreakingly. So, and throughout the book, there were just little sutters and hints and reminders, such as when, because there is a prophecy that says that Achilles, if he does fight in the Trojan War, he will die and he will perish by the hand of Hector. And throughout the book, there is a consistent quote that says, "What has Hector ever done to me?" And that genuinely, it's like a knife through your heart, and it's so sad. And while reading through the happy lives together while being constantly reminded of their doomed fate genuinely killed me. This masterful art of creating a consistent, bittersweet / utterly soul-shattering atmosphere is why I believe The Song of Achilles is one of the best LGBTYA novels.
Very good. Well done.
Good.
Vote for me, guys. When I tell you I was procrastinating, I was procrastinating.
I was studying.
Yeah. Okay. Right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, 2 minutes starting now.
Well, I'll start by saying that Solitaire is an amazing book. It's all of it. It's such a fast and quick read, but you just can't put it down. I started reading the book, and I don't know, a few hours, and I was done. I just wanted to read it again for the first time. Just, forget the book and start again. Again and again and again. The representation of LGBTQ and mental health awareness is like more than any other book, and I think for YA, for our age, it's really well written, and loads of people can understand what's going through the book and everything, and it just touches everyone, I think. It's very well written, and if you just love Solitaire, there are other books as well. It's not just this one book. You can go to Heartstopper, the Nick and Charlie, everything else, etc. And Alice Oseman is such a great author. I don't think anything could really top her LGBTQIA books. But Song of Achilles is a great book, from what we heard. But it's a fantastic retelling, I think, of other books. This book is just its own book. It's not a retelling of anything. It's from the heart. I think I love retellings, but there are parts of it where you can have millions of them, but you can only have one Solitaire. There's only one of that, and it's just perfect the way it is. Someone said it was downright terrifying and creepy.
Describing that as one of the characters.
I think if it's terrifying, should that really be
The antagonist.
to YA?
Silence, keep going.
Someone else also said the writing seems pedestrian, characters cliched, and the plot more appropriate for a children's book. So I don't know what to say about that. I personally haven't read it, but we'll see what you say.
And Alice Oseman's You Can't Get Any More YA than Alice Oseman LGBTQ. Pretty cover.
Pretty
solitary.
We need to start with the extracurricular comments after the timers start. I've noticed that a lot. Anyway.
Yes.
Context is needed.
Restrain yourselves. Restrain yourselves.
Okay, so now we will vote.
Vote, yes.
Can everyone close their eyes? Who, if anyone would like to vote for Song of Achilles? Hannah, close your eyes. Vote now. Clearly, please. Okay. And if anyone would like to vote for Solitaire? Okay. Put your hands down. Right. Okay. It was close, but the eventual winner of this SmackDown was Marianne Wilson.
No.
Good game, good game.
Thank you for taking part. Thank you for taking part.
All right.
Okay, up
Okay.
next is Mr. Arnold.
We have Mr. Allen and Josie. So, who would you like to speak first?
I'll go first.
Okay, we go, Josie.
Josie.
Nice.
Josie,
My
which
notes.
one is this? Right, got the book. Show the
Can you just
how
remind us
to.
of this fixture before we get started?
Show the cover, mention it's pretty.
There is no helping. Would you like to tell everyone what this debate is about?
This is a debate about whether His Dark Materials is better or Game of Thrones is better.
Right. Okay. 2 minutes on the clock, starting now.
Okay, to start with, for Northern Lights and also the whole His Dark Materials trilogy, it has really strong female characters on both the side of the protagonist and the antagonist. You have the main protagonist, Lyra, who throughout the series shows her bravery and also her skill to be able to read the alethiometer better than even people who've trained decades to be able to read it at all. You also have her mother, Mrs. Coulter, who develops throughout the series, but through most of it is an antagonist, but she's very manipulative and she uses that skill on others and is able to manipulate a lot of people in the Magisterium, which I think is really interesting, and it shows like her manipulative nature and also Lyra's caring nature. You see both sides of strong female characters. And then also you have Seraphina, one of the witches, who really sticks in my mind as a strong female character, and all of the other witches as well. They're interesting, they stand up for themselves and continue to fight for what they believe in, even against huge evil. I also think, so a big part of kind of the magic of it is the demons that everyone has, and I think that gives a unique perspective, being able to see someone's soul. You get to see part of them, and even for the minor characters, for example, in the Magisterium there's a scientist, and you've barely met her, but you see she has a fox demon, and you can immediately see that she's not exactly what she seems. She's sly, she's manipulative, it's almost a bit like unnerving because you know something's going to happen, and I think that's really unique in the book. It's also able, despite being both a suitable read, is quite...
So much to say, isn't there, about it?
I'm also going to stand actually.
I'll go on in, sorry.
I like
yeah.
the standing.
Oh, exactly.
It's coming up.
His
Right.
business.
When we're ready.
Okay. Starting now.
Ladies, gentlemen, prestigious members of Lit Soc community, I would like to present to you my case for Game of Thrones over the money-making retelling of Milton's epic poem, Paradise Lost. Okay, of course, this is stolen. It is not original. It has merit, of course it does, but it is an extended retelling of an epic poem, and therefore it doesn't have much credibility in its own sense of literature. Whereas Game of Thrones by George R. R. Martin was revolutionary in its world building, and now my esteemed counterpart, of course, offered the feminist approach of Lyra, which is incredibly, that's the word I'm looking for, incredibly accurate. However, I would like to up that one by giving you Arya Stark, who went through turmoil in her life. She lost her father, saw his own beheading, and still came back stronger. She lost her brothers. She lost everything in her world and went out of her way to find that power, to find that strength in order to come back and defeat the most powerful being that not only this world has seen, but the outer worlds as well. And that incredible journey that she went on proves that she is more than just a singular character. She is representative of feminine power throughout our society, and it is that message that is very clear throughout George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones. I would also like to add the linguist approach, because of course now in Plymouth University you can study Dothraki, you can study the Valerian, okay, you can get degrees in these languages, and therefore it shows that there is a compelling case that the language itself is going to revolutionise, almost like you did with Star Wars. You see that language is still commonly spoken amongst many people in society. So I'm going to conclude with my 4 pillars. No, I'm going to conclude with the fact that...
Wow, steering stuff.
Unique interpretation of Game of Thrones is original.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking exactly that.
pretty well
Well, that into my mind, but I can't
Oh
quite.
yes, Game of Thrones, the most unique series ever created. Okay, so
Yeah, not derivative at all, Mr. Allen. Not at all.
And throws that you can't get through except with a knife.
No, that was Daenerys. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I've got so many thoughts about that.
Agreed.
Okay, blind vote, everyone close your eyes. Okay, now clearly, please put your hand up for Josie. Some people are voting who are not allowed to vote.
Mr. Allen.
I'm voting for Josie. It's all right.
Okay, so there's literally no point voting for Mr. Allen. I'm sorry. Josie. It was unanimous.
Commiseration.
No, it's why I deserved. It's
That's your
I'm going to
brutal
diss the
approach.
quote
Yeah.
world buildings in
We have
20th century
going
literature.
after the
Upsetting.
other one.
We've learned from the English department that you are not allowed to quote any book ever in any other book.
That is very true, yes.
Not allowed to make any reference to any other piece of
No,
literature.
not at all. It needs to be unique.
Noted.
There you go. Right, so we have the semi-finals confirmed now. So Shakespeare's Tragedies, Miss Annie versus Shakespeare's Comedies, Lulu. That's going to be an epic one. And then our other semi-final is Paddington, Marianne versus Winnie the Pooh. Josie. So how about that?
Okay.
I promise I'm not flouncing.
He's going to go and sulk now.
I promise you that is not the case. I do have to go and teach a class, so I will bid you a farewell.
Farewell.
Yeah.
Farewell.
We'll let you know how
Thanks
the
for
rest
coming.
unfolds.
Thank you
Yeah, thanks,
kindly.
guys.
Fine, we're not judging you.
Give him a round of applause.
Yes, round of applause, please, everyone.
I bought a review in. Oh, it's there behind your iPad. My review. That was Death in Paradise, which is much better than
And your
mine.
missive. Okay. See you later.
Thank you guys.
Depends
See you
on the
later.
series is, yes, absolutely.
Paradise. I was just thinking
Would our contestants like a little break before?
Better not from my, from my
Let's get
point of
going.
view,
Okay. Right. In that case, Miss Huntley, would you like to? I will. Oh, actually, Emily, you said you wanted to do the buzzer. So, do you want to do the timing as well, or maybe Marianne can do the timing? 2 minutes. You got to start watching your iPad yet? So. I'll be the ref though. I'll do the vote counting. So you can read the vote. Okay. So Shakespeare's Tragedies, Miss Huntley.
Shakespeare's Tragedies, yeah.
So do you want to just let her know when?
Okay. Go.
Shakespeare's Tragedies. Without Shakespeare's Tragedies, we would be a much poorer society. You can argue that the humanity of Shakespeare is all through every part of his oeuvre. However, without Hamlet, without, I can't now think of other tragedies off the top of my head, without Macbeth, without Othello, none nefarious deeds they may do and procrastinate, Hamlet does also, but within those works we have some of the most fabulous poetry ever written on this globe. He's still one of the greatest wordsmiths, and that comes out in the tragedies. We have to be or not to be, that is the question. We have to thine own self be true, ne'er a lender or a borrower be within Hamlet. We have in Macbeth, we have those wonderful, eye-catching, extraordinary weird sisters. The year 11 syllabus would be all the poorer without it, would it not, year 11? We have Othello, the Moor of Venice, who gave Lenny Henry the opportunity to step upon the stage for the first time as a Shakespearean actor and changed his life completely. Of course, long before that, it enthralled the globe and changed the world. And when the king takes his throne on Saturday, he will be thinking of the hollow crown that rounds the temples of a king. No Shakespeare, no nothing. Thank you.
Oh, very concise. You deprived me of the chance. That was the quickest one yet.
Sorry, Emily, sorry.
That was the quickest for everyone. 148.
You'll probably have to buzz me. So.
Question of travelled for lack of matter, as is in As You Like It. Not poetry.
As You Like It, comedy. No
As you
less.
like it.
Yeah.
Did we just talk about it?
Yeah,
There
I
you
just
go, you
quoted
got-
from As You Like It. Aren't you lucky?
You got early ammo in. For Lulu.
hand, you know it's time. If you keep
Right, Lulu's standing again, and I when
Well, she's belligerent, look at it.
Okay, Lulu,
yeah,
are
this
you
is sass.
I think it is.
Lulu, are you ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, so I would like to just put forward the idea that comedy is for the people. It punches up. It gives people a voice. Why are you laughing? It gives people a voice, and I think that's really important because the people who are performing these comedies on the stage, they were the people. They were people who often weren't accepted into wider society. So, by giving people a voice, by having comic characters that could be comic and have the space to do that and make fun of the upper class, it was just such a powerful position for somebody to be in, especially maybe even speaking as themselves. Even now it's such a important tool for like political criticism and critiquing the people who are above you in society. And now that isn't to say that tragedy isn't important, because it is, and I love tragedy, but also I think comedy is what makes tragedies tragic, because without comedy you wouldn't have something to subvert by being tragic. And I think that's just so tragedy is so important, but it's just that comedy makes it that much better, because otherwise if the world was happy all the time, we wouldn't have tragedy. So yeah, and I think we have to really soul search again with this one about comedy. Would you rather sit or stand for a 4-hour performance of King John at the Globe Theatre at the San Juan Booking Playhouse? Your back is tired. Think about your posture. You're like, what are we having for lunch later? Or would you rather sit through an amazing, funny, engaging performance where the actors speak to you? They speak to you at the Globe. They can feel your soul. Would you rather sit through that performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream, 12th Night, As You Like It, as Miss Huntley so eloquently said before? I just think it's such a more engaging experience than watching some posh person speak about themselves for 4 hours. And I just think, I don't think Charles will be thinking about Shakespeare when he's sitting on the throne. I think he'll be thinking, oh, my back's a bit hurting now. And he'll want to go and get all the nice lunch that he's having later in the day, or thinking about the rain that's going to pour all weekend this week. So yeah, I think comedy is probably good.
You're really pouring your heart into this. It's great. Oh, Daisy's falling apart.
Yeah, but Daisy, they're just wilting.
Right, I'll do the vote for this one. So if you will close your eyes, please. Okay, hands up if you would like to vote for Miss Huntley and Shakespeare's tragedies. Okay, and hands up if you would like to vote for Lulu and Shakespeare's comedies. Okay, thank you. I'm not gonna lie. You can open your eyes now, Lily. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't close. Lily stormed to victory. So well done, Lily. Right, so Lulu's through to the final, where she will be speaking for bookshops.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would now like to invite our other semi-finalists, that's Marianne and Josie. Marianne, you'll be speaking for Paddington. There he is. Yes, do take him. By all means.
That'd be quite funny.
Pass me.
Lily, you
Yeah,
do you
go ahead.
want me to? No, because you are going to. Lily's putting a lot of the duty
Time's
here.
up.
Yeah. Just remember that. Anyway, okay, so 2 minutes on the clock now.
Paddington is a bear beloved by all. His tales of adventure with Mr. Gruber and that really weird painting of the sunflowers that won that one show. Paddington, you can relate to Paddington, you know? Winnie the Pooh is, not gonna lie, kind of old. And Paddington brings in the younger generation. You've got Paddington 1, Paddington 2, those fun adventures that everyone can go and watch in the cinema with their family and their friends. And everyone loves Paddington. Winnie the Pooh's kind of old. Paddington is also, it relates to those feelings of kind of being lost and being found by people who then love and care for you and finding your place in somewhere that is completely new. And at first you will feel isolated, but then you find people and you fit in. And it's those common feelings of finding home and not being alone anymore that people can relate to in Paddington. And it is told so well through comedy and those stupid little adventures that makes everyone laugh. And as Lulu said, comedy is it speaks to the people. Comedy is the pinnacle of our society. Nothing exists without comedy. It makes everyone just feel that little bit better about themselves.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. And I'm going to conclude on that fact.
Okay, 30 seconds left if you want.
No.
Okay.
No, she said what she wanted to say.
I've said what I wanted to say.
He was also our first mascot, wasn't he?
Yes,
Exactly.
yes, absolutely.
Paddington is the best.
Don't help the people.
That was moving.
Okay. Are you ready?
Josie's got a few things.
2 minutes starting now.
Okay, so I think you said about comedy and with Paddington, and yes, there's comedy in Paddington, but I think some of the most iconic things is when Winnie the Pooh falls in a beehive and is covered in honey. I remember that from my childhood, making me laugh. I'd also say Paddington is influential, but I think it's clear that Winnie the Pooh is incredibly influential for so many people because of like the 300 Acre Wood. People still think of that. People still go there purely to think of the stories of Winnie the Pooh. And it says even like a special like place where it is just dedicated to Winnie the Pooh near there. And I think that just shows the influence of Winnie the Pooh. And I think you also have, like with the comedies are so fun, and you have Winnie the Pooh represents that as well. I think also, like Winnie the Pooh you get to see him making friends with so many people, well not people, other animals, and as well as Christopher Robin, and you get to see like sometimes it's difficult to make friends with others. People might be a bit grumpy, but like coming together as a group, and I think that's so nice to see. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And after that, let us all be
This
sat
is a
together
really
as
different
friends.
one.
This is
Oh,
exactly friends, yeah.
friends.
Isn't that
Yeah.
nice?
Probably
Oh wow.
Sorry.
Yeah, all right.
What? Okay, everyone close your eyes. Why is everyone keeping their eyes open when I say that?
They're very disobedient. That's why.
And the direct eye contact is okay. Who would like to vote for Marianne? Put your hand up clearly.
Everyone should be putting their hands up.
Don't listen to her.
No influence in the vote, please.
Okay.
Films don't count.
Silence, please. Make it very difficult. Okay. Now put your hands down. Hey, put your hands up if you'd like to vote for Josie. Okay. Everyone can open your eyes.
They're part of the story or something.
Pardon?
She shouted out. Films don't
I know they're part of the story.
Oh, they
I'm
do
heckling.
count.
I'm heckling. Yes, go on then.
Okay. So it was actually really close, but the winner of this was Josie.
Oh, well done.
However, we should say that everybody's speaking really
Everybody's
well.
a winner.
Except me.
Of course.
Except
Litsoc is the
for
winner.
Miss Holly against me.
Reading is the
Everybody
winner.
should-
Books are the winner.
Yeah.
Right, it's time for the grand final. Do you need to go for something?
I do. I mean, I'm so sorry, girls. I've got to be in Greenwich by 7. But I would really like a photograph of everybody because it's your last session, isn't it?
They are going to come. They are.
Oh, you are.
hoping to come back.
Okay. Well, that's
But
fabulous.
Lulu's,
That's fabulous. Okay. Come as you as you're dressed. You're really welcome. That'll be lovely.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Whatever,
Pretty much.
whatever you're.
the story.
Is it Wild West?
That's good.
Oh wow.
Great. That
Great.
sounds great.
Brilliant.
Okay.
How appropriate.
Yes, I'm so sorry, everybody.
Right.
Enjoy the grand final, and I'll watch it. I'll watch it on the
On YouTube.
on YouTube. Yes,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Huntley. Should we give Miss Huntley a round of applause? Should we give Miss Rowland a round of applause? Should we give Miss Huntley a round of applause? There we go.
I got everything. Have a great final, and so can we just confirm who it is?
It's going to be Lulu for bookshops versus Josie for libraries.
Aha.
Do you need a? Would you like a minute or two to prepare, ladies, or
Do you need a minute?
does this marshal your thoughts?
I'm okay.
You're okay to go? Are you good to go?
Gonna say?
Yeah.
You don't sound so sure.
Take care. Have a great long weekend.
Thank
and
you,
whatever
Miss
you're
Huntley.
doing, enjoy it.
Thank
It's
you.
okay if you're unsure.
Bye.
No pressure. No pressure.
Sorry, what?
There is no pressure. Yeah. No, I'm gonna win this.
She's smack talking already. Lily, you're going to have to really do a big job convincing me.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking against libraries, so you're going to have to give the performance of your life for me to vote with bookshops. Just telling you now. I have many bookshop friends, like Pat from Regency, as an example. But anyway, just
Good thing
just
I
thought
got
I'd put
Pat in
that
with
one
you.
there.
She just comes out.
So, are you ready, Lily? Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
let's get the stopwatch up.
Don't really on routine.
Who's got the buzzer?
I've got, yeah. But actually, it means I'm not voting. So there you go.
Oh,
Because I'm doing this.
Bonza. Alright, okay.
But we do have another librarian.
I feel like Miss Rhea- I feel like
Part
Miss Rhea
time.
would be more persuadable.
fun.
I feel like Miss Rhea would be more persuadable.
Yeah. Don't say that.
I
You're
don't know
really.
how you say that.
Don't know.
Just
Miss Humphreys kept.
for what it's
You said
worth,
you were
for what it's worth, if
happy.
I got to the final, I would have been speaking for bookshops against libraries. So there.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
didn't, did
I
you?
would have. So just to make sure, this is all about board. You have to be devil's advocate because I want to get this on record. I do prefer Earthsea to Narnia. I was being devil's advocate. I just showed you how to do it. So, if I may be so bold. Right then, are you ready, Lily?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, right. In that
Speaking from the
case-
heart, guys.
Speaking from the heart. Your time starts now.
Okay, so I understand that I might be the underdog in this situation, based on the fact that we are in a library. This is a library group, and I understand that libraries, they're really important spaces for the community, right? So they're free. You can get a library card and all of that. I understand that bookshops have some kind of like capitalism vibe to them, but but I would actually like to speak to you based on the merit of independent bookshops and the power it has as a community space as well, but also as a voice for people who may not feel like they have a voice in regular libraries. And that might sound controversial, but I would like to just call up a few. One bookshop that comes to mind is Gaze the Word in London. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but there's also a film about it called Pride. I really like it. When I was 13, I went there and I was like, wow, look at all these people. And I didn't feel so alone as I might have done before. And I just thought it was such a powerful space, even if you were a bit in the closet. But just even speaking to the people at the front, looking at all of the books that all were about you. That's so powerful. You don't get that. Some libraries are run by the government. That's fine. Obviously, it's good that there should be as many libraries as possible, but they might not have something that's tailored specifically for you. I know in the 20th century, some lesbians, they opened these bookshops because they didn't read about lesbians in the public library. All they could find was the dictionary definition of it. And I think in that way, bookshops are so important for finding your voice allowing yourself to set up, you can't, I don't know if you can just set up a library, but setting up a bookshop, allowing yourself to make money off something that you might otherwise be discriminated for, and keep building that society. At Gays where they have open mic nights, they have community events, and I just think they also were a big part of the civil rights of minors, stuff like that. I just think it's so important for you to be able to earn a living off of something that you really care that deeply about. And yeah, I'm running out of time, but yeah.
Perfect. There you go. Excellent. Well done. Well done. All right, Josie. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, time starts now.
Okay, to start with, as Lulu pointed out, we are in a library. I think libraries are really good spaces for, I think, potentially, yes, bookshops you might go to, and you might be able to find certain books you might not necessarily see in a library, but like having school libraries especially is really important, because like I've always liked reading, but I think because we do have a library here, it like brought that out more, and it made me realise how much I love books, whereas bookshops you kind of, I think I would think of going to more, and I think libraries help me realise how much I do love books. Also the thing of, there's only so many books you can normally buy normally, and so libraries are really good places if you want to read lots, and also it might, in a library, I'd say, although there are especially in independent bookshops, you might feel more courage to go up and say, oh, do you have any nice book recommendations? I think libraries, I find it's more accessible to be able to go and talk to a librarian. What would you recommend? And so I think it's a really good place as well, even if you enjoy reading, to be able to find, to be exposed to new genres of books and books you might not necessarily have thought to read initially. Yeah.
Is that you done? Well done. 1 minute 55 seconds. Excellent. Right, and I promise I'll be honest. It's on camera, so I can't be dishonest about the vote. So, close your eyes for the last time. And who will be crowned our inaugural Lit Soc Debates champion? No peeking, Marianne. Okay.
I'm lifting my hand over my eyes and my eyes are shut. Double protection.
Just
here.
checking. Okay. Hands up if you would like to vote for Lulu and bookshops. Okay. Thank you. And hands up if you would like to vote for Josie and libraries. I might have to do that one again. Okay, please don't change your votes. Hands up if you would like to vote for Lulu and bookshops. And hands up if you would like to vote for Josie and libraries. Okay, thank you. You can open your eyes now. I'm not making this out. I promise I'm not pretending. We have a tie. It is 3-3. 3-3. So I don't know how can we do a tiebreaker.
The number of books you count in your head.
People who are abstain, if we took part can't vote, and I can't vote because I'm doing the count. It hasn't helped that Miss Huntley left. If Miss Huntley was still here, then we'd have an odd number. Well, I tell you what.
Rock, paper, scissors.
No. Something more exciting.
Can we do move off?
A what?
A moo-off.
You never heard of
A moo-off?
When you get on your hands and knees and moo.
I'm not sure that this is an appropriately dignified ending to this
I don't want
series
that
of debates.
on the internet.
Well,
Whoever can find the book in the library first.
No.
Lily, as the person who had the idea for the debates in the first place, and as the person who has worked the hardest in terms of debating plus timing and everything, you decide what we do as a tiebreaker.
Did we not write a tiebreaker question? Did we
No,
not think that
because
far?
we did not think this was going to happen.
Okay,
I could come up with a tiebreaker question if you like. If you give me a minute or two.
Yeah, I think that's the fairest.
Yeah?
Oh,
Have you got a question?
maybe physical books versus Kindle. Could that be one? Like reading it digitally?
What, you mean you have another debate?
No, for the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want another debate?
Oh, no, as in, like, hands up, but then it's like,
Oh, okay.
you
Yeah,
arbitrarily
yeah,
are
yeah,
assigning,
okay.
you know.
I thought we were having another debate.
I thought you meant another debate.
Yeah,
I also thought you meant another debate.
Yeah, me too.
What were you
Well,
doing?
I was brainstorming questions.
Well, we could have another debate if you want. I mean,
I
it's
thought
fine.
that's what you
It
meant.
is 5 o'clock now, so.
Do you have time for another debate?
Tiebreaker question then is what you're thinking.
Okay, tiebreaker.
All right. Okay, have a chat for a minute while I think of a question.
times
or the week.
So how are you today?
You know,
That is a good
cricket.
No.
But then my mum told me this morning to put sun cream on because I'm at skin cancer risk because of my goggles. I get one every year and they get worse and worse.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she put sun cream. She said sun cream. I should got sun cream. I put it on after cricket.
All right. Okay, we've got a question. A nice, simple question, and it's going to be on the buzzer. So, what our two finalists like to come and? Should we get another buzzer? Lily's, is the cupboard open?
Me.
Yeah, have you turn it anti-clockwise until you hear it click? That's it. Now, can you see the box of buzzers? It's down the next shelf. See the big white box in front of you, directly underneath. Can you see it? There we go. Right. Lulu has already chosen that buzzer. It's the nanny cupboards. As I sent, yeah, choose your. Right, Josie, do you want to just?
Orange and blue.
Okay, so you are boing.
So what is this a general knowledge question?
Yeah, kind of. So it's the first one to buzz, and then get the answer correct is going to win. Okay, so here we go. At what Dewey number can you find the books by and about William Shakespeare?
800, 700. It is 8.
600?
No. Okay, wait, this is such a good question. I can't believe you don't know this. It's in the, you know where the literature section is, right?
900.
All right, I tell you what. I've got another Shakespeare question.
850.
How many plays did William Shakespeare write?
57.
And your guess? No need for the buzz for this one, actually. You better have a guess.
52?
It's actually 37, and Lulu's closer. Lisa is not be impressed when she watches this back. But Lulu, closer, and so Lulu is our inaugural Lit Soc Debates champion. Can we give her a huge round of applause? Yes. Well deserved, well deserved. There we go. Well, yeah, all right.
I'm only weak.
All right, thank you, everyone. That was fun. That was really great. So we'll definitely do this again. Thank you, Lulu, for suggesting. Thank you, everyone, for taking part. And next week we will have Lulu again in Hot Seat. We'll be doing a little treat of a bit of a murder mystery for us.
Yes, and then
So
I will
until
be
then-
gone forever.
Wait, is it like a murder mystery books or?
No, it's an interactive murder mystery. Lulu has actually devised it, and we have to solve the murder. So
It's going to be
Who
fun.
it's going to be very exciting.
Mr. Humphreys is dead. Or is he?
I'm going to be careful. I'm be checking my coffee tomorrow morning. I think. Okay, so can we all just give the camera? Oh, you're right there, Marianne. Can we all just give the camera away? Bye.